Hello, my name is Host Eric. I'm host talking with famous people. I am very excited to see an individual who to the best of my knowledge, I have not spoken with you before. Is that correct?
No.
I've seen the name, but I've never actually spoken with you. Okay, great. So I'm going to try start off with a raw typing. I don't know how familiar you are with previous typings that I've done, but if you hear a question that you've heard before, you can stop me, ask me for a different question, or you can just try the question anyway if you want. All right. So here's your first question. You're on a game show, and it's a weird game show. First date, they gave you a prize. It's a mountain bike ride. Second date, they give you a prize. It's a sit-down game with a friend of any game of your choice. Third date, it's a date at the spa with massage and other like body touching stuff. And then the fourth day, they go, okay, you get to pick one of the previous 3 days' prizes to do again on the fourth day. Which one do you pick to do again?
I'd probably say the second one.
What kind of game would you play?
I'm more of a like board gamer, so something like chess or backgammon or uh,
Shoots and ladders?
yeah, like Monopoly and stuff like that. Strategy games.
So pretty much shoots and ladders.
Yeah,
Okay. Next question: are you better at drawing pictures or singing songs?
probably singing songs.
Do you listen to music when you want to evoke a certain emotion in yourself?
Majority of the time, actually, yeah. Most of the time, it's to kind of get in touch with an emotional side, but majority of the time, it's just kind of depends on the mood.
How about movies? Do you watch Hollywood movies?
I think most of them are shit, but
Are there some that
um,
you like?
I'm more into like psychological movies. I like a lot of movies that have a lot of hidden meaning. I do a lot of analysis. So like
What's a movie you liked? Can you give me an example?
yeah, like Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Did
Movies like Hitman. Movies like
do you see them in the theater, or do you usually wait till they come out? You see them on Netflix or something like that?
I usually wait till they come out.
Have you seen Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
Um, I've only seen like clips of it. I haven't seen like the whole thing.
Is it something you want to see?
I think it'd be pretty funny to see. I actually like comedies a lot too. I find them rather amusing.
Are you familiar with The Room?
I've heard of it a lot, but I've never actually got around to it.
I've not watched it, but same thing. I've heard of it. I've seen some
Yeah,
some
like
clips and
I've
stuff.
actually I've actually watched like some like previews and stuff. So
If you were to have to choose a philosophy and you only had two choices, and one of the philosophy choices you had was strict deontologist, okay? That means no matter what, you couldn't lie. So that means like
ooh,
if the killer stands right there and says, "Hey, I'm looking for your best friend. Is he hiding around here?" and you know he is, and you or somehow are unable to decline to answer, that you'll just tell the truth because that's the best thing to do. That's your ethical decision. Would you rather be that, or would you rather be a um, strict Catholic?
probably the first one.
You can never tell even the slightest lie.
I would rather at least give that an attempt than do the second.
You also can't ever use another as a means to an end.
Hmm,
That's
interesting.
that's kind of a tricky one. I wonder how you. That would
That
depend
that
on
is
some
that is a tricky one.
interpretation.
I like that though.
Uh, okay. If the police came and arrested you and said, "That's it, you're under arrest." And you're like, "What did I do?" And they pull out of their own pocket a bag of PCP, and they say, "You have this bag of PCP." And what's the first thing you say?
Man, that'd probably actually be the first thing I say is just something stupid, like, because like it takes a lot for me to kind of come up with a substantial answer, especially when it's like something I didn't even do. So,
Okay, so then the cops say, "All right, tell you what, $500, we'll let you go."
oh wait, run that by me again. Sorry.
The cops say, $500, we'll let you go. If you gotta gather it from friends, family, somebody, we'll let you call them to gather it together.
Hmm. Man, that's really interesting.
And we'll let
It's
you
a
take
tough
the PCP.
pick.
We'll let
It's
you
a
take
tough
the PCP with
pickle.
you. Just like Post Hominid said, it's a deal now. You get to go free. You pay them $500, and you get to take the PCP with you. Do you want the PCP?
I mean, I wouldn't use it.
Would you take it?
Why
Well,
the
I
fuck
paid
not?
for it.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of a win-win situation, though.
Win-win.
Just bear with me. I'm just being
Okay.
funny.
Um. All right. So you say, let's pretend that you're about to say yes, but then the police captain drives up and they go, "Oh, now we gotta bust him."
Yeah, no
So
shit's getting
they say,
real.
"Oh yeah, hi Captain. We're just in the middle of busting this guy for this big bag of PCP we found on him." The captain's like, "Good work, gentlemen." He looks at you, "You scumbag. Why do you do it? Why do you get into that fucking shit? I tell you, it's garbage. Why do you get into it, son?" What do you say to him?
It's funny because I'd probably like freeze up and I'd be like, I don't know. I'm such a terrible person. I'll try better next. That really would be like my response. I kind of like play off this odd facade, even though, like I said, I didn't do anything wrong, but I still would.
Yeah, well, that's certainly one angle for, in general, when one encounters difficulties like that. I would say that in that instance, you probably would want to go with a different angle. Like,
Oh yeah. I
oh,
mean, like
fuck no! If you give them that kind of response, they'll be taken aback a little bit. Oh, fuck no! Hell no! You fucking cops are going down, bitches! Like
oh my
screaming as
gosh.
loud as you can, like that shit. Make them escalate, and you'll be like, "I'm putting my hands up. You guys are gonna have to escalate this shit because I'm not gonna stop shouting about this garbage. So you fucking are going until I have your heads on my fucking platter." Type deal.
Man, it's so weird because like if you were put into a situation so extreme, like I'm looking at things a tad bit realistically, but it'd be more along the lines of, they got something up under their hands. They're like, well, even if he says that he didn't do it, we'll just make up shitty evidence and say that he did anyway, even if he plays it for cool. I don't know. I think way too into things. So
Right. I think the probably the best actual strategy would be to say, "Are you sure you're not being filmed right now?"
ooh, good
Make them
point.
think about it. We can call this a day
They
if you
do
want.
they do got those mobile cameras.
They'll be looking around. They're wondering, where are we exactly? Does this guy
It's
have a
not. It's
camera?
it's funny because it would seem like this would happen at night. Like I could imagine this, like cops getting on me at night about this. It seems like the perfect time to do it.
Do you have political opinions, strong or weak?
I'm kind of a neutral individual because I can kind of see an odd pro and con page for all sides. So like libertarians have certain views, and it's like, okay, some of them are good, some of them are kind of off. Same thing with conservative. So kind of neutral.
So are you more disinterested neutral, or are you more interested but against team alignment?
I think I'm more disinterested. I'm more detached from it. I'm kind of like I guess you would say, a quiet observer when it comes to stuff like that.
Mega bro, does hating politics count as a political opinion? That's a good question. Um, we are going to get back to the other question, which is about empathy later. Don't let me forget about that one. But okay, so do you often take this position of quiet observer in other capacities as well, or just politics?
Probably majority of things that I do. I think the way I approach things is a very reflective kind of person. So it's like
Deliberative,
I
would you
don't.
say, as opposed to impulsive?
Yeah, yeah. I'd say it's much more, very much planned out. I'd say.
How likely are you to forget small objects at home when you leave the house to go to work or school?
Oh God, all the time. It's like the story of my life. I forget everything.
Are you more naturally drawn and or inclined and or enjoy? Which one do you enjoy more is probably the best question. Um, Verbal reasoning or like chemistry type stuff?
Um, I think it'd be more so, like I think when it comes to even debating people or anything like that, I'm more concerned about like logical consistencies. So it doesn't really matter what kind of medium it comes from. It has to be like logically consistent. And as long as there's as long as the equation makes sense, I'm mostly convinced, but I can still doubt it if that makes any sense.
Sure. Uh, okay. Let's imagine you're at work and there's a task that you've been given. You've got two choices. You've got a weird boss who plays weird games with you. And this weird game is choice one is he'll tell you what needs to be accomplished, but not how to do it at all. Or step two, he'll tell you a bunch of specific steps to follow, but he won't tell you what you're trying to accomplish. Well, which one do you choose?
Hmm. I'd probably do the first one because I kind of like figuring things out for myself. I don't really like people. Like, I don't mind if you tell me like what to do, but I'd probably expound upon it myself.
If you had to train an underling at work, let's say you worked at a philosophy firm. Okay, there's a philosophy firm, and you have to train a new hire how to do meaningful work in epistemology. Now,
Wow,
I,
that's definitely deep.
I don't know if you currently know how to do that or not, but let's imagine for the scenario there's something like that you know how to do, and you're required to
Okay.
train this person. Would you, if you like, let's say you know history or something. Let's say you know Russian history of 17th century. So what's something like that
Okay.
you know about? Can you give me something that I can work with?
Um, Funny enough, I don't really study too much history.
Or anything. I don't
Uh,
care. Do you know how to make a Lego house? I don't fucking know anything. You know, like, there's some
um,
specific skill that is not commonly known, like tying your shoes. You know.
I mean, I'm very good at picking apart uh, constructs like architect. Like I'm good at like putting things, pulling things apart and bringing them down to like their basic level. If that
Okay,
helps, I don't
so
know.
your business has changed. You're at a job which the job of this place is to take fancy books and make them into simple books to make it explainable to kids. Okay, this is the job of this place. So you're trying to train this new person. Do you have a good sense of how to train them? Do you say, okay, here we are. I'm the new person. My name's Joan. Hi, Raven. I'm Joan, and and I'm Joan, and I'm here to learn about writing books and making them simpler for people. I don't know. I guess I just get the thesaurus right, and every word I just look up that's a big word I look up as a synonym, right?
Right.
Is that,
Okay.
is that what I should do?
You should actually not necessarily look up for synonyms, but you should know the differences not only with geez, I'm being complicated, but I guess
All
a
right.
simple way to put
All right,
it,
let's just start
I
with a
guess,
book. Let's just start with a book right here, okay? Here's a book. It's called Fancy Book, Fancy Times. Now, the first sentence of the Fancy Book says, to deconstruct the political narratives within the dominant elites playbook, one should look to the means of oppression. How do I translate that?
you should break down every word and yeah, I guess that's actually a better way to do it, and you should find simpler synonyms that are much more of a simpler description so you can understand the sentences better.
All right. So if I were to ask you that specific sentence, I'll repeat it a few times. Okay. I'll make
Yeah.
it shorter. Okay. I'll make it shorter. Sentence is to address inequity. To address inequity, we have to deconstruct. We have to deconstruct the narratives of the dominant elite to determine the means of their oppression. To address inequity, we have to deconstruct the narratives of the dominant elite to determine the means of oppression. To address inequity, we have to deconstruct the narratives of the dominant elite to determine the means of oppression. What you got for me? Hi, Yubi. You want to translate?
Oh, is that someone else talking or talking to me?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. Usually how I break down really anything is I take like half of a word and like I said, I look for root words or like roots of words, prefixes, suffixes, any origins with those and how they connect with other ones. It's
I'm
kind
asking
of
you to
bouncy,
translate it.
oh, jeez.
So, to address inequity, we should deconstruct the narratives of the dominant elite to determine the means of oppression.
So basically, there's a balance issue with the political figures because of certain views that they have. Is that somewhere
I mean,
close to it?
it says to address inequity. So it says there's a given thing that there's a purpose for it, right?
Right.
So to make people more equal or something like that, I guess.
Right. Exactly.
To make people more equal, we have to read and talk about language of news broadcasts and stuff
Right.
so that we can figure out how they're fucking us.
Right. That's kind of what I got from that.
Okay. So if someone were to convince you logically that the best thing to do was to be a vegetarian, that you were morally obligated to be a vegetarian, would that cause you to become one?
If their argument was extremely solid, yeah.
Really?
Now, I would still be skeptical, but really it would be more so once they presented their entire conversation to me. Now it's much easier when someone presents something to me as they're talking. I kind of have this urge to interrupt them and go like, okay, what's this point about, and then go on with it, and then stop at every point that they keep presenting. But for the most part, if I feel the need not to stop and I've kind of digressed into every single part of their presentation and it's solid enough, I'll at least do my part to look into it, and if I feel that it's actually convincing and it's consistent, then yeah, I'll go with it. So yeah.
How many animals do you eat? How many different kind of animals?
None.
Oh, you don't eat animals?
No, I am vegetarian.
You are a vegetarian.
Yeah,
Oh. Because, see, I'm convinced that it's the right thing to do, but it hasn't actually changed my behavior.
right.
So,
That that's the thing. It's more along like the way I look at it is, as I said before, when you have the conservative right and then you have the libertarian, it's like there's pros and cons. So it's more of what works and how your environment works with you and how your psyche sees it. So
well, I make some excuses for myself, among which are I really only ever eat three animals: cows, pigs, and chickens. It's not like I'm eating fucking endangered leopards or something like that.
that bacon, man.
It's delicious. It's good stuff. But
Hey, I'll admit it does smell good. I will admit that.
but I mean, here's the thing. It's unavoidable to face this contradiction where I love animals, and like I've seen people. There's a neighbor for a while who lived down the alley here who had a pig, and I'd go there and I'd pet the pig and I'd talk to the pig and stuff, and it made me just sort of feel like a hypocrite.
Well, it's weird because a big thing that really convinced me, and it wasn't like what's that word, fear mongering or anything like that. It was more so like whenever it was like the first year I was a vegetarian. Um, my friend was talking to me and he was like, "So what if I gave you a knife right now and I put a live pig in front of you? It's really friendly. It's really sweet. It wants to kiss you and stuff. Would you be able to kick it over and gut it alive?" And I was like, no, I can't do that. I
If you were
can't
hungry
see
enough.
myself. Well, probably in a sense of hunger, yeah. But he was just talking about, a natural
Right.
state.
Well, I have killed fish before. I go fishing and I kill fish and I gut them, and I do it and I feel bad about it, and I question whether I ought to be doing it. Then I eat it and I think, well, that's what it's for, right? It's like they breed them in the fish hatchery. They put them in the lake so you can catch them and eat them. And the same thing with cows. The reason there's so many cows around, it's not like, oh my God, we're threatening the cow population with our mass cow murder. There wouldn't be all those cows if we didn't eat them. Same with the chickens and the pigs.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is correct. Like that's the bad part about me, and that's why I can kind of debate people, but then I kind of can't because it's like I have certain views or certain things that I've researched, and they're more just throwaway facts versus like.
Well, I guess it depends
Anyway,
what kind of arguments you're making. If you wanted to actually convince
so
me, the arguments to make would be ethical arguments, not environmental and not health. Certainly not health.
okay, that's all right. That's interesting. Not environmental either.
I mean, some environmental concerns, but look, I have to say no to environmental because you're talking about such substantial amounts of change that are required in order to address those environmental concerns meaningfully. It seems clear to me that humanity's got to find a technological solution to the problem.
Well, that's funny because I actually just did some research on this because I do like biology. Funny enough, I'm pretty into it. But they're starting this campaign where they're basically picking apart cells and taking like really like the tiniest snippets from like a like a chicken, like, and it takes the cell from that. And what they're going to try to do, if they get enough money, is they're going to do it in a research facility and multiply those cells, and then it works like a system, and then it gets to a point where it's like it came from animals, but it's not. You don't have to kill animals, so they're
You could
creating an
call it
organization.
you could call it non-sentient meat grow.
Yeah.
Welcome to our non-sentient meat grow. Would you like to try some? It's delicious. It really looks disgusting when we're growing it. It looks fucking disgusting, but it's delicious.
It made me very skeptical because they basically say that it's actual real meat because again they go on about the science background of, oh well, we're multiplying cells and we're growing food that way through a scientific process, and it's just like growing real meat, except you don't have to kill any animals. And it's like, yeah, but you don't present enough information. Like,
Come on, Ma. Meat harvest wrap now. Let's go out to the meat trees. When they get down, they'll grow on trees. They'll just be meat, these big slabs of like raw meat growing from a tree.
I
Like
think
a
the
raw
only
chicken, a dead raw chicken from the tree. It grows dead raw chickens. It's perfect. That's what we want.
that's amazing. Yeah, no, like I guess the only uh, argument I could give you, or something to think about, is there's statistics that say that animals that get fed as many plants as they do um, is already multiplied by like 3 times. If people stop killing animals, it actually lessened both the plant extinction and animal extinction. Uh, as far as vegetarian is like if people became vegetarians, that's what I'm saying. Like if everybody became vegetarian or vegan, whatever, it would lessen uh, animal extinction, obviously, but it would also, because apparently it takes 3 times as much plants to feed only 1 times as much animals in all the factories, and so you're destroying like all these trees, and then
Well, we don't
it's
feed
only that
animals
many.
trees. You're saying cut
Well,
down the
you know what I
trees to
mean.
make fields? Is that what you're
Like,
saying?
yeah, like whatever food. Most of the time, it's plant based. I'm not saying it's
I
like just
want to.
straight trees.
I want to try this though. I want to try tree-fed beef. These cows were fed nothing but trees. That's what makes them
Sure.
so. It's the opposite of the normal thing. Normally you go for tender beef, so you try to feed them tender food like grass and stuff.
Right.
But I want beef that has durability. So for durable beef, you need to feed them trees. And instead of giving them any of the green part, I want to feed them 2x4s.
Just give them that wood. Just plow it straight in them.
Come on, you fucking cows, eat it!
Just take it like a cow. Oh. All right, good morning.
I think we gotta cut these up a little smaller, Eric.
Just chop them into pieces, like squares, like tiny little squares, and just feed it that way.
I think you're either an INTP or, in theory, possibly, I guess, vaguely, you could be an ISTP. One of those two.
Uh,
What
I
are, what are you?
God, I've been battling that for like a long time. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh, you think you're one of those two?
It's weird because it's like I'm still trying to understand the. I think I'm actually more metaphysical, but I do have this like odd urge to be outside a lot. I don't know if that might be explorative and eat.
Well, let's talk
But
about it. Let's talk about it in another video. This is 30 minutes, so thanks for watching, Talking Famous People. And
yeah, yeah.
please remember to eat plenty of cheese.